Can you dig it? Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Booker T. And before we get rolling today, man, this message right here is sponsored by Raycon.
That's right, BT. I'm Brad Gilmore here. Now that the holidays are over, it's officially New Year, new routine season. Whether you're getting back in the gym, whether you're walking more, or just trying to be more consistent, having the right gear actually matters, especially that audio. That's why I've been using Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds. They've honestly been a game changer for workouts. Regular earbuds block out everything. You can't hear someone calling your name, a car coming, anything. These sit just outside your ear canal so you can still get clear sound from music or podcasts, but you're also aware of the surroundings around you. The surroundings around you? The surroundings around you. That's huge for safety focus, especially if you're training outside. They're also super lightweight, and the ear hook rotates so they actually stay in. I've been wearing them while lifting, walking, even just around the house. There's no slipping, there's no discomfort, and the multi-point connection is so clutch. I can switch between my phone, laptop, iPad without having to repair every single time. And the battery life? That's another big WBT. 8 hours of playtime and up to 36 hours with the charging case. So I charge them maybe once a week, and they're good for me for that 7-day period. Raycon has over 3 million customers. The sound quality hangs with way more expensive brands, and they're about half the price because they cut out the retail markup. Plus, there's a 30-day guarantee, so you can try them risk-free. Here we go, guys. The Essential Open Earbuds are here to help you crush your New Year goals. Go to buyraycon.com/BookerOpen to get 20% off site-wide. That's buyraycon.com/BookerOpen for 20% off. We want to thank Raycon for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast.
Sucker!
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore, as they discuss everything from inside the ring to the backstage and beyond. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time World Heavyweight Champion. 2-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, they call him the boat. He's out there in Hollywood, man. Hollywood was all good. You understand what I'm saying? But now, man, I'm feeling good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, baby. How you feel, dog? How you feel being out there in Hollywood?
Well, first off, Happy New Year to you too, Book. You know what's great? You know, every time we've been out here for something, right? I mean, I always love coming to California. It's always a nice stop. But it's been cold and rainy the whole time I've been out here. I mean, rain. Not just like a little rain, a whole hell of a lot of rain, which we're used to in Houston, not used to in Hollywood. But it's been lovely out here. It's been lovely. It's a great way to start off the year. I was at the Critics' Choice Awards last night, and what I want to say is this. I was leaving the Critics. Okay, cool. I was leaving the Critics' Choice Awards, and we're making the way down the red carpet. And you know who I see? I don't know. You might remember him by name, but you definitely remember him by face. I was shoulder to shoulder, or should I say shoulder to elbow, with Omar Benson Miller. Omar Benson Miller, an actor. He was in Sinners this year. He played Cornbread. He's been in 8 Mile, so many things. But he and I bumped into each other, and he looked at me like, hey, don't I know you? And I go, you may or may not remember this, but me, you, your brother, and Booker T were at the Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz fight together. And we all sat, I don't know if you remember this, all 4 of us sat together. And you and him, he was like, I remember this, because Booker and I were the only ones who thought Luis Ortiz was going to win the fight in the whole arena. And it looked like he was going to win the fight until Deontay snatched his soul away from him. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so you do remember. I remember that night. It was a fun night. So he was cool. You know, he was said to say hello.
Hey, man. You know, it's cool to be in the place, man. It's cool to be in the house, right? You know what I mean?
It's definitely cool to be in the house. You know what? What I wanted to do mainly for you was Leo was there, Leonardo DiCaprio, and I wanted to go over and tell him about the Shakespeare Phantom of the Opera, Leonardo DiCaprio thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to go over there. But all the stars were in the house. All the stars were in the house last night. So it was cool. Kylie Jenner, Timothy Chalamet, everywhere you looked.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro and I had a nice little conversation with each other. Kathy Bates was in the building. I mean, it was everybody. Everybody was there.
Yeah, you feel a certain way too. When you grew up, you watch these people. Now you're in the room with them. I got a chance to do that once. I was being honored, and the person that I admired, he was being honored at the same time, and it was Gail Sayers. And I was like, wow, you got to be kidding me, man. And I'm looking across the room, and I tell Charmel, I go, that's Gail Sayers. And I said it like a little kid. I'm whispering it. And she goes, yeah, that's Gail Sayers. What you gonna beat him? And I went over like a little kid. I met him, I shook his hand, and we took a photo, and I got that photo, on my wall, so it's amazing, when you meet your heroes, and they turn out to be real heroes too.
Especially coming from this city, from Houston, right? Because in Houston, it's like we're a big city, but we're not like a glitz and glam town, right?
Yeah,
we're real people town, working people town.
Yeah.
And so when you go and you see the opulence of a major event, I mean, I was thinking about you just the other day going in the Hall of Fame, because I was explaining to somebody who Bruno Sammartino was. I'm like, Bruno Sammartino sold the Garden out 123 times in a row, whatever it was. One of the biggest stars in wrestling history. And then Bob Backlund and Mick Foley and Trish Stratus. I mean, that was your Hall of Fame class. Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible class. I mean, look, not for nothing. A future president was in the class too. I'm just saying, like, it was a crazy. That's the craziest Hall of Fame class I think of all time. I think the 2013 class is the best class.
I tell you, for me, going into the Hall of Fame with Bruno Sammartino, that right there for me, oh man. I mean, I got a chance to ride with Bruno in the limo back in the day once. Can't remember where Bruno and I was going, but he reminded, how many times you say he sold out the Garden?
Like 125 or something like that.
He reminded me of that several times on that ride. Because every time he tell a story when it was about the Garden, he would say, sold out. And I can't tell you how many stories it was he told me, but every one of them was sold out.
Well, but isn't that like, I wonder if he started that in wrestling, because anytime somebody tells a wrestling story, it's always they were sold out from the rafters. You couldn't get a seat in the house. We had them, going crazy. Road Warrior Pop 88. Yeah. That's like, I wonder if Bruno started that. But you know what? If you sold out the Garden that many times, you'd have to tell people.
Well, you definitely want people to know it.
Yeah,
you definitely want people to know. That's one of those moments that. It's like me saying 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. You want people to remember it, that you was the guy that went into the Garden and did that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, to sell out the Garden as a professional wrestler that many times, it says a whole lot about the business back then. But it speaks some volume to Bruno Sammartino, because we always say in this business, for the guy that's in the main event, thanks for the house. Thanks for the house, brother. Thanks for the house, brother. And that right there is a testament to that guy that's holding it down. And Bruno, he held it down for many, many years. The business was so different back then, man. It was so freaking different back then.
Yeah, it's a whole different. But I mean, that's still the territory days and stuff. But to still sell out Madison Square, which is just it's the world's most famous arena. And to do it so many times in a row and to be the guy. And he was the champion for 7 years or whatever it was.
But wrestling was so real to the fans back then when Bruno was doing it. You know what I mean? Selling out the Garden was like, like Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali selling out the Garden. There was a lot of money being made, off of professional wrestling back in the day, from a territorial perspective, you know what I mean? Because the stars like superstar Billy Graham, stars like Bruno Sammartino, and so freaking many more. It just I wish I was a fly on the wall and just could have been able to see it, man. I always talk about that slideshow, being able to, see it through someone's eyes, man. I wish I could have seen what it was like, coming up back in the day like that.
Well, it makes me think about they just released the trailer. When I say they, I mean Netflix and WWE for Unreal Season 2. And Unreal made a lot of I guess people had a lot to say about Unreal last year. And I think you and I talked about it on the show. I understand it. Was I in love with some of the stuff that they did? No, just as a kind of a, coming up under you, I'm an old school kind of guy in that regard, like protect the business. But what I actually loved is it starts off with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman says, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I hate this show. I hate this idea of this show. I come from a time where you guarded the secrets of this business because your livelihood depended on it. And leave it to Paul Heyman to be able to like eloquently execute why people feel the way that they do. Some guys feel the way that they do about the show at the same time being in the show. It's like the most Paul Heyman thing. I'm going to tell you why I don't like this show, but I'm going to get myself over while I'm on it for sure. Right. Like that's what he's being one of the boys.
Well, Paul Heyman's smart enough to know that he can't, resurrect time and go back to the way it was. He knows the times has changed, and he better figure out how to move with the times. It's just that simple. It really is. Because if you don't, the times will pass you by, and you'll still be thinking about how it was back in the day. For me, that's why I always talk about how, young people are the future. Young people are, why I respect them so much, because they are going to be guiding this ship. And if you don't understand how to pivot and go along with the program, sometimes you could be the one left out, literally, watching the parade just go by. And you wonder what the hell's going on, how'd this happen? And I think that's it more than anything. I really do.
But has your opinion at all shifted on Unreal? Like, do you see it as like a necessity for the business? Do you see it as like we don't really need to do this?
It's not something that I'm totally keen or high on or anything like that, but I do understand the times have changed. I do understand there's no kayfabe anymore. I understand that people want to know the insides workings of the business. Is it going to deter them from watching it or anything like that? I think it's proven that it hasn't, deterred fans from, not watching professional wrestling. I think people want to get inside and learn even more about it. Is it a great thing? I don't know, but I do know that right now we got AI, And right now, everything has changed. Everything has flipped. And if we don't know how to go with the times, man, the times will truly pass us by. And I just don't want to be on that side of the coin. You know what I mean? I know we got to take a break. Guys, you're inside the Hall of Fame. I know you guys might probably have some questions, that there's some stories that's been going on over in AEW as far as, some stuff happened that William Regal had to even talk about. I don't know. Yeah. We might want to speak on it. But if you got any questions, just hit us up here inside the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah, man. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, guys. Brad Gilmore here from the Hall of Fame, here to keep it 100. Some men walk into a room like regular dudes, but when you've got Blue Chew in your corner, you walk in like it's a main event. I'm talking pyro, lights, smoke machines, a Titantron package, and your theme music blasting. Because Blue Chew just isn't a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody handed your downstairs a gym membership, a hype man, and a Hall of Fame ring all at once.
And let me tell you something right now, man. This ain't just about sex. This is about legacy. This is about making sure your third legacy gets remembered. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Shipped straight to your door, man, in a discreet package. You don't need to go to the doctor's office, man. You don't need to stand in line at a pharmacy. Just come ready to go.
Look, last time I tried one of Blue Chew's tablets, my hog got so confident it demanded its own Instagram account. It told me Missionary was off-brand and it was only doing extreme positions. I tried Blue Chew and suddenly my hog had a zip code, a driver's license, and voting rights.
That's not just performance, that's a lifestyle.
Dog, for me, it felt like my parents were cutting promos on me, saying, we can't hold this man anymore. Somebody call security. It was like my entire lower half turned into a tag team championship, man. And my brother, sometimes it's not even about the action. It's about walking into the room knowing you're holding a steel chair under the table, man, ready to go whenever the bell rings.
Look, this just isn't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. And the truth is, it's not about what happens in the bedroom. It's about knowing that you're that guy. You want to give her group chat something to talk about? You want to hear your name come up at brunch? Lay it down with Blue Chew's help. And believe me, they'll be talking about how it gets up.
And that's real talk, guys. You only get one career, one championship run, and one chance to etch your name in the history books. Don't leave your legacy to chance. Step into the ring with Blue Chew and become a legend.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, you get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code BOOKER at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Use promo code BOOKER, BOOKER, and head to BlueChew.com for details and safety information.
Want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, baby. You know what I've been thinking about all week, man?
What's
What
that?
I've been thinking about all week? It's stuck in my damn head. Is that Joe Hendry song? I'm serious, man. You know what I mean? It's stuck in my damn head, man. I've been working on the second half of the lyrics and everything, trying to make sure I get it right when I go back on the air, man. You know, people have been in the office been telling me to tone it down a little bit. You know, take a step back. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I don't know if I can hold back. You know, when Joe Hendry's songs start playing, because it's something about the damn song. You know, I believe in Joe Hendry. I don't know what it is, but it's catchy. It's a catchy tune. Yeah,
It's a great record. It's really catchy. It's really, really catchy. And you're okay. Why don't you settle this?
A rendition.
Let's settle this on your rendition, because the audience loved it. For one, you singing the Joe Hendry theme song, because you definitely believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah,
But do you want to set the record straight? Because the comments were split on if you were doing it as Booker T, as Black Snow, or as the Macho Man Randy Savage. This is what the comments were split on, and I want you to be able to illuminate us. Who were you singing as?
I was doing it as me. I was just excited. I wasn't trying to be Macho Man Savage or anybody. I was just being excited. The song had me. I don't know. That's the voice that came out. You know what I mean? I don't know where it came from. That's normally not my singing voice, but for that song, it is.
Well, can I say? I think I know why that's your singing voice on that song, because it's a similar singing voice to when you would do Ethan Page's theme. I think that might be your white guy singing voice. I think that might be what it is. I think it's like you're like, this is what a white guy sings like. I believe in Joe Hendry. Ego.
It is kind of the same. I never thought about it. And then I get a brother's some cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Oh man, I never thought about it that way, man.
That's your white voice. That's your white singing voice.
It could be right, man. It could be true. I'm serious.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. What do you think about Joe Hendry now kind of being a full-time NXT roster member? He had a hell of a 2025, being in the Royal Rumble, being the TNA World Champion, competing against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, having the battle that he had with Trick Williams, which is one of the great feuds between TNA and NXT over last year. Now he's full-time on the brand. He's a full member of the roster, as far as it seems like to me. So how do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I really do. I mean, big props to Carlos Silva. All right. Big props. The CEO of TNA Wrestling, man, to be able to make something like this happen, to be able to create this transition for these guys that are, mainstream superstars, and they should be getting television play like mainstream superstars, and they should be getting paid like mainstream superstars at the same time. And what a better way to be able to facilitate something like that for a wrestler like a Joe Hendry. I mean, look at this kid, Leon Slater. You know what I mean? These guys are getting opportunities. I look at what they're doing with AAA. Those AAA wrestlers, man, are seeing life totally different now. Seeing things they've never seen before from a production standpoint, from a money standpoint, from a medical standpoint. It's amazing. So for me, this partnership, and I was reading that it's in stone to like 2028 or something like that.
Yeah,
I love being able to see guys like Joe Hendry get their piece of the action. You know what I mean? Just their little piece of the pie and take it and go around the world with this thing, man, because I got a chance to go around the world, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. It really truly is. And I implore, the talent out there to, work your asses off to put yourselves in position to actually be able to make that ride and take that trip.
Well, and okay, let me start with TNA. It's the smartest move for TNA to have made this decision because, one, I think that their relationship with WWE has helped their television product, being able to utilize certain stars on their show, has actually helped their television product to the point of they got a new television deal. I'm not saying that it's direct result of the relationship with WWE, but the partnership with NXT definitely helped facilitate that deal with AMC. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Then second, if you're Silva and hey, some of my talent, their ultimate goal and where they know the big money is going to be is in the WWE, and that's where the Jordan Graces or the Joe Hendrys want to eventually end up. Hey, let me have this deal with them to where I can still have star power on my show, right? I can still get an AJ Styles to come do Slammiversary. I can have Trick Williams be the heavyweight champion of my company and still have a star power appeal to my TNA Impact show. It's such a brilliant thing. And then for the NXT guys and girls, they get to work people in different venues, different crowds, different experience levels, who know the system differently than they've been taught it. So it just helps broaden their horizon. And if Trick Williams, if this TNA deal did not exist, I don't think we see Trick Williams on the main roster as fast as he's gotten there with the reception and reaction that he got on Friday night. Now, it was obviously missing a little Bookerism on the entrance, but the whole crowd was saying, whoop that Trick in unison. And that's 20,000 people for his first time on the show. Not too bad. And I think that's in relationship to the TNA deal. In part.
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, first of all, congratulations to my man Trick Williams. Congratulations. Went out there and represented OG style, man, with them lemon pepper steppers on. You know what I'm saying? Looking real fly, debonair. No, man, he's definitely paid his dues. I was looking at a thing on YouTube, and they was showing the first time that Trick Williams showed up in NXT. He was a guard for what's the guy name? Turn the backflips, black guy. Man, I can't remember his name, man. But he was like an African guard, and then he was an extra, and then he was something else, and then he was with Carmelo. But just showing the rise of Trick Williams, and that goes to whatever role they put you in, play it to the best of your ability to something better come along. Playing that guard, just watching him, all he was doing was just standing there. He looked so
Apollo Crews.
Yeah. My bad. But just seeing him stand there like that, it was amazing. Then just to watch the evolution of Trick, it was just, You play that role, man. Play that role, and you work on your craft. And then when you get your shots, you go out there and you try to knock it out of the park. That's the only guarantees you got in this business. And I give that young man, like I say, big props for picking this thing up as quick as he possibly did. And I'm glad to have had a chance to work with Trick too, man. That's what's cool. Also, me having a chance to, get into the, what we used to say, put the black mask on, self-interrogation mode and ask ourselves those serious questions as far as what are we doing here? Why are we doing it? And what do we need to do to get better? That's what I appreciate with Trick Williams.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, you know how easy it would have been for him to just have only ever been Carmelo's number 2 in NXT? I mean, so many people can get pigeonholed in that position and also think, hey, I got a spot. This guy's top guy on the show right now. I'm his ace. That's a good spot. And sometimes it's hard for that guy to break out of that in the audience's eyes. The audience is almost similar to you when you were in Harlem Heat. The audience kind of anointed you, right? Before the bookers or the promoters did, the audience said, no, hey, this guy's awesome. We want to see more of him. And it was a very similar organic thing with Trick, is when Trick was with Carmelo, they loved Carmelo, but they started saying, hey, we like this Trick guy too. We want to see him do something. And, that started the Trick Mello story, which was also a thing that helped catapult him. But this is a guy who he had it. He had the desire. He had the want. He had the willpower. He went to the right, learning trees, if you will. In order to figure out how do I accelerate this, because you were on the independents, quote unquote, for how long? 2 years, 3 years?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I was never on the Indies. What are you talking about?
You weren't on the Indies. I'm sorry. Before you got to WCW, you were on television.
I was on Global television, which was on ESPN.
It was on ESPN. Yeah. But when did you get to WCW? It was 3 years.
It was 2 years.
2 years, right? Okay, so relatively fast. Yeah. And Trick Williams in 2024 was headlining Stand and Deliver, right? And now he's starting off 2026 as a member of the Smackdown roster. And you see this guy, and you just know he's got to be something. You know it immediately.
Yeah, no, Trick, he's definitely got the goods, man. But
main eventer, he could be a main eventer at WrestleMania.
In a heartbeat, just like me, my first pay-per-view in WCW, 2 years in the business. It happens. It happens for some of us. Stick around, y'all. Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it? Houston, get ready to rumble with the Hall of Fame on ESPN Radio.
That's right, Booker. We're bringing the heat Tuesday through Friday right here on the Houston airwaves on 97.5 and 92.5.
We've got the exclusive scoop on wrestling, boxing, and everything in between.
Join us for the Smackdown of sports talk and don't miss a moment of the action.
The Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that? Sucker! Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hey guys, I miss you guys. I'm serious, man. I miss being live. I saw a post talking about us not having live shows all the time. Guys, it's been the holiday season. Me and Brad, we had to take some time off. We posted, Shawn Michaels, one of our greats. We post, greatest shows, greatest episodes. Sometimes we do that. I mean, all I can say is enjoy the ride, as well as Antonio Suarez. I want to say thank you for reaching out. Happy 20th anniversary for reality wrestling. 20 years, man. 20 years we've been doing this thing, and God willing, we're gonna be doing another 20, and we're going long and strong. 2026. We said 2023 was going to be our best year, and then we said 2024 was going to be our best year. Then we said 2025, and 2025 was a hell of a year, y'all. But 2026, we're about to hit 900,000 YouTube subscribers. So, guys, jump on. If you're not on board with YouTube, if you're on board, tell somebody. But 2026, we're about to break somebody off some real proper and I'm excited about it. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, yeah, and right now on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel, right after the Hall of Fame is over, you can watch the 20th anniversary edition of Glory, which was filmed at our Sub-Zero event, and then a 20-year celebration of Platinum will be right after it later this week, showcasing, something that got a lot of headlines, and I don't want to give it away for people who haven't seen it yet, but the headlines have been out there about reality wrestling lately, and really about you, Book. People still think that you're putting your nose where it doesn't belong when it comes to the reality of wrestling title picture. They say that, Mr. Limelight, perhaps we know that he never works alone, but perhaps you're influencing things from behind the scenes. I don't know if you have a comment to that, but that was a specific accusation levied at you by one Zilla Fatu on social media this week.
Look, I would never lie. You know me, I would never lie. And yes, I do influence things. It's my company. I'm supposed to influence things. It's about business. And I thought Zilla Fatu learned that a long time ago. I'm talking about when I first took him in as a little boy at Reality of Wrestling and raised him to be a man. I thought he learned that at Street Justice when I had to chastise that young man and put him back in his place, because you know how parents are. You know how parents are, Brad. We will bring you in this world, but we will take you out at the same time. And that's what people like Zilla Fatu need to understand. This is not a promo. This is not hyperbole or anything like that. This is real talk. And people like Zilla Fatu need to understand this. You know what? I wish I could go back 20 years. I wish I could go back, 20 years and show these youngsters, what it's really all about as far as these right here, as far as these. But I'm going to let them have their day. I'm going to let them have their day. You know what I mean? I heard Braun Breaker said, it's our time. And you know what? Braun Breaker, you're right. You're right. It's your time, young man.
Well, Braun Breaker's great. And I think that, obviously huge things are in the cards for Braun Breaker. But it's interesting that you bring up 20 years just because in 2026, in 2025, we're celebrating 20 years of reality wrestling. In 2026, it's the 20th anniversary of King Booker.
Yeah.
In 2026. How does that make you feel? Does it feel like 20 years ago?
You know what, man? I leave the past in the past. I always think about the future. I'm not one to. I don't go around thinking about King Booker all the time. Even though I watch some King Booker clips, sometimes just to laugh, just to, because I want to see something stupid. But I don't live in the past. But it doesn't seem like 20 years. You know what I mean? But it does seem like 20 years at the same time. Man. I was talking about King Booker, and I can't remember what we was talking about, but someone had thought I had played King Booker for like 3 years, and I had only played King Booker for like a year, but it seemed like it was 3 years. It seemed like it was a really, really long time. King Booker was, on television, but it was only like about a year and a couple of months or something like that, But man, I don't know, man. Life's tricky, But it was, I try not to look at time and space like that, but it was a great run. It seemed like it was a long time ago, but it seemed like it was just yesterday at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy just as a fan, I can't believe it's been 20 years, but it feels like it, but it doesn't, right? Like, I know what you mean 100% by that. Yeah. And speaking of that, 26 years since the debut of Chris Jericho in the WWE, I think maybe even 27 years this month. And now there's talk that tonight he's going to make his return on Monday Night Raw, because Adam Pearce, the general manager of Raw, said huge matches tonight. We're going to be breaking the walls down to start 2026. Now, I don't know if that's just them trying to generate some buzz. The rumor was Jericho's contract ended on the 31st of December. It's now the 5th of January. You would think he might be free and clear. What do you think? Do you think we see Jericho back in the WWE? I know it's hard to say.
I wouldn't be surprised, not one bit, if Jericho showed up tonight, just like he did, in 2000, when the music played, the countdown, and boom, turn around, big fist pump, make that walk to the ring, man. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we see that Chris Jericho with that same intro tonight on television. Hey man, it's only fitting, for Chris to end his career in the WWE. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative about AEW or anything. I don't even want to mention AEW because somebody will write it in a certain aspect. But he went over to AEW and, he did what he did over there. And to be able to come back, and just like me when I went to TNA. Went to TNA, did my thing. And then I was like, man, I would love to finish it in WWE. I didn't know how I was going to get back there. Circumstances just happened to play out properly. You know what I mean? Rumble was coming up. Tough Enough was coming up. Got my foot back in the door, whatnot. So for Chris Jericho, I'm sure he would be able to write his own, ticket this time around as far as, man, I got this many dates. You know what I mean? We could squeeze me in here, whatnot. He get paid this amount of money, and then go in the Hall of Fame and wrap this thing. Yeah, man, I can see that happening. Yeah, heck yeah, no doubt.
I mean, and why not, right? Like, why not if you have the opportunity? Because as far as AEW goes, what Chris Jericho was able to do for AEW, I mean, it helped launch that company, right? I mean, it helped launch that company, him being the guy that they were attached to. And also, to me, with Jericho, he helped, really try to shine some people up, the younger talent. I mean, he got a Brian Keith, as part of his stable. Him and MJF had their first, MJF's real big main event feud was with Jericho, and also showing aspects in different layers to the MJF character was a part of what Jericho did with that Le Dinner Debonair. I mean, and he was the first AEW champion. Like, I could go on and on about everything that he was able to do with the company. And to me, it's like, I'm sure he could still stay there and be creatively satisfied and make a huge payday and ride off into the sunset, and he'd be perfectly happy. And if that's what he wants, that's his entire prerogative. But as a fan of Chris Jericho, as a fan of the WWE, it would just be great to see him back in the Rumble one more time, or see him at WrestleMania. What are you laughing at? What's funny?
I know people are going to take this the wrong way, right? I know they're going to take the wrong way.
Here we go.
I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say it anyway.
Do it.
Chris Jericho actually could come back to WWE, have a run, go into the Hall of Fame, then go back to AEW.
That would be sensational.
It can happen. It can happen. I'm just throwing it out there. But that's something that has legs. Trust me.
Do you think? I mean, because like almost everybody who went over to WCW back in the day ended up coming back to the company, to WWE afterward, right? Almost everybody. I think Mach might have been the only one.
Yeah,
who didn't come back. So it could happen. It could happen. You know what? And if it does, good for him. I just think that a Jericho, and like, to me, his legacy is already cemented. He didn't have to wrestle another match, and he's still Chris Jericho. He's going to be mentioned, such as yourself, with the all-time greats of this industry. But, for me to see him finish in WWE, it's like the movies, like if it's like a superhero movie, right? Sometimes they have like those multiverses, like we're like, oh, hey, this happened in this alternate timeline. To me, like when somebody's outside of the WWE, it seems like a multiverse of them. It's like not the one that we know, not like the timeline that I'm aware of. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like when Jericho in the WWE, that's like how he finished the timeline. And to me, it's like the paper of record. It's like the New York Times, the WWE is.
If you had to write the show, right? And you know me, I don't like writing the show.
Yeah.
But in this situation, with Chris Jericho coming back, I would want to write the show just for a moment.
Okay.
And if Chris Jericho came out, bang, break the walls down, big, like I say, turn, pyro, whatnot, all the lights, whatever, make the walk to the ring, cut the promo. Who's the guy that their music is going to play, and that guy's going to walk out on stage? Who's the guy?
To cut him off?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you just mentioned him, like a Braun Breaker or Logan Paul.
That's what I said.
Logan Paul. Yeah.
Oh man, that would be such great freaking. I'm just saying. If I had the pen, you know.
What a great call.
Yeah.
Logan Paul Jericho feud.
Oh man, because you know that they're almost like mirror images from a perspective, you know,
In a way.
From a working perspective too, you know, with turning the flips and whatnot, you know. Oh man, yeah. That if I had the pen for one night, I think I would write it like that.
Look, that's a money feud. Jericho and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
You know, and I know. Like it's funny when I because people outside of the wrestling world know who Logan Paul is.
Oh man, we gotta take a break.
Let's take a break. We'll talk about it.
Hey guys, stick around. We'll talk about Logan Paul and Jericho on the rebound. We'll be back in a minute.
You know, guys, every year starts the same way. New year, new me. We make all those resolutions, leave some things in the past, clean slate, turn the page or whatever didn't serve us last year. But I'll tell you this, there's one thing that I'm absolutely bringing with me into 2026, and that's that Mando whole body deodorant, brother. Because I've been using Mando, and what I love most is the confidence. Straight up, I'm being honest with you. This isn't just about smelling good. It's about knowing that you're covered. And not just your pits. We're talking whole body. Pits, balls, thigh folds, belly button, butt crack, feet. Everywhere you can deal with odor, Mando is safe to use, okay? So Mando was actually created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal...
Hey guys, finding the perfect gift for the food lover in your life is easy. Thanks to Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships America's most iconic foods straight from world-famous restaurants right to your door. So if you want to treat someone to Joe's Stone Crab from Miami, Franklin Barbecue from Texas, or desserts from famous foodies like Ina Garten or Martha Stewart, Goldbelly has you covered. Just go to goldbelly.com and for a limited time, get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's promo code GIFT.
Body odor was being misdiagnosed or mistreated. So instead of masking smells, Mando blocks the odor at the source and is clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours. My personal go-to is that solid deodorant stick. It's powered by mandelic acid, and it goes on clean, no irritation. It just works. I've also used the spray, great for those hard-to-reach spots. Everything is aluminum-free, baking soda-free, paraben-free, and comes in legit scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, or Mount Fuji and Pro Sport, if I'm asking the Macho Man Randy Savage. And here's the wild stat. 12 hours after a shower with soap, the average guy's odor level is 5 out of 10. With Mando, 0. 0 out of 10. That's not masking, that's handling business. So if you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant, you can find Mando now at Walmart, Target, and retailers nationwide. But for the best deals, you go to shopmando.com. And right now, new customers get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping when you use our exclusive code BOOKER. That's SHOPMANDO.com, promo code BOOKER. That's promo code BOOKER. Please support the show and tell them we sent you. Some men try to cover up body odor with scents. Mando men get the job done right. Don't mask it. Mando it. Head to shopmando.com. Use code BOOKER for 20% off and free shipping. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control so you can say goodbye to the sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Oh, yeah, did.
Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We just talking a little sports and entertainment. You know, talking about everything going on in the sport of pro wrestling. We got some NXT talk we definitely got to talk about, but I see people in the chat right now definitely chatting about what we're talking about as far as Logan Paul and Chris Jericho, perhaps mixing it up. Like I say, for me, I don't know why that kind of like just like jumped out at me, those two, but I see Logan Paul, like I say, being a mirror image of Chris Jericho when he came in as far as his wrestling prowess, you know, his mic skills, his arrogance, you know, so much of those two guys remind me of each other. So I think that's what it is more than anything.
Well, and what I was saying too, and I agree with you, and I don't think I put together the fact that they have so similar until you brought it up. But you know, Logan Paul, when I talk to people who aren't wrestling fans or don't watch the product, they know who Logan Paul is because he's an internet celebrity before he came to WWE. And I say, look, this guy's got no right to be as good as he is. He's sensational. He's fantastic at what he does. He's incredible. Like from the time we saw him at WrestleMania in Dallas in 2022 till now, He works as good as anybody at the top of the card, in my opinion, right? He's super good. And to me, him and Jericho, you're right. They just marry each other in so many different ways. And Logan, more than even his in-ring prowess, he's great at a promo. He's a great promo. He understands how to get under people's skin. He understands what to do and how to utilize it. And Jericho, I think, would be so good in a battle with him on the mic, just as much in the ring. And that's how you sell it, right? We know a promo to promote the match, and they would sell that match, brother.
Because once upon a time, Jericho was Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I just get it out there. I mean, it's a story that going to go down like forevermore that, you know, we're going to be hearing and seeing, you know, as for this guy was once upon a time, you know, and that's the story. It's written, but Jericho can still go. Jericho can still go out there and, you know, float in the middle of the ring. So I think that's where this matchup would really play big dividends at WrestleMania. I mean, did I say that?
You know, also, just think about this, because we got WrestleMania in Vegas this year, but we got WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year. Can you imagine the paychecks for the boys next year if we can get a Jericho Logan Paul with a title on the line or something?
I'm trying to get on that loop. I'm trying my best to get on that loop, guys. If anybody out there hear me that's got anything to do with the pen, who's putting names down, hit me up, man, because I'm trying to get on that tour, man, to Saudi, big time. I mean, hey, hey, look here. I'm keeping it real, man. I'm keeping it real. I was looking at an interview that I did. And it was, I was just talking about some retro stuff, and the question came up about did I feel any kind of way about the Triple H match, you know, at WrestleMania? And I said, you know, if I felt any kind of way, it was before I saw the check. And then I said, can we rerun this next year? Same match.
Same finish. For everybody who was upset at the slow cover, for every second it took Triple H to get over there, there was another zero that was added to the paycheck.
Hey, you know, people do talk about the slow cover. They give me a lot of heat about the slow cover.
They give you a ton of heat.
Take a look how long it took me to cover Rey Mysterio after he got hit with a steel chair. Go back and watch how long it took me to cover Rey Mysterio. I got on my knees and crawled like a little baby on all fours because I don't know if people understand or not. This is like a drama-driven sport. And you're supposed to, you know, do stuff like that at certain times. I never really thought about it, you know, until I've heard people, you know, say, you know, how long the count was. I got to go back and look at it, actually. You know, because
it wasn't as long as I think. It's it's a Mandela effect. People think it's longer than it is.
What is the Mandela effect?
You know the Mandela effect?
He was in prison longer than
there was the Mandela effect explains this theory that we have a collective conscious that sometimes we remember something. We all remember it, but it never existed. So people had this distinct memory of seeing Nelson Mandela's funeral in the 80s, but Nelson Mandela didn't die until 2015 or 14, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And there's that people think that there's a Sinbad movie called Shazam, but it never existed. But people have a distinct memory of seeing this movie where he plays a genie. There's all these kind of things. You should look up the Mandela effect. It's pretty.
Wait a minute. A Sinbad movie called Shazam?
Yeah. Do you remember it?
I remember something like that.
Yeah, it didn't exist. And I remember it too, but it never happened.
Maybe it was something that they were talking about doing.
I don't know. But it's a real effect. There's several of them.
But that's not an effect. It's not an effect if it's something that I remember seeing something and hearing somebody talk about, right?
Well, no. I don't think there was ever Sinbad said that this is not a real thing. This never happened. I don't know why people think this has happened, but people distinctly remember a Shazam movie called with Sinbad where he plays a genie, but it never happened. It's the Mandela effect.
The comedian
Yes.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So do I, but it never happened.
All right.
That's the Mandela effect.
Okay.
So again, I don't know if it was a Mandela effect of people thinking that it took him longer to cover than everybody.
And it means what again?
It's like I can look up the actual
Something
thing,
that didn't really happen, but we think it happened.
But everyone remembers it happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can use
Okay, great example.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can use this on NXT. That's all.
You can figure it out. To me, the best example is, Luke, I'm your father, I think is what we all remember him saying.
Yeah.
But he never says Luke. Darth Vader never says Luke. He just says, I'm your father. That's all he says. But he never says Luke. But we all remember him saying Luke. Right?
Maybe it was outtake.
No, he just said, no, I am your father. But we all remember him saying Luke, I'm your father.
Maybe we heard it from outtake or something,
It's the Mandela effect. I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's what you should look this up. It's a crazy thing. But what I was going to tell you about when you covered Rey Mysterio, to me, another part that people don't think about with that cover or with the Triple H cover is y'all are the heels in the match going over for the title. You want to get as much drama, yes, but also as much heat as possible. You gave Rey the deepest cover I've ever seen you cover anybody with in the history of your career. It was the deepest, strong, both legs were hooked. Your leg hooked his leg.
It was.
It was the deepest cover I've ever seen.
And then it was probably 3.5 to 4 seconds before the ref actually started counting after I hooked him up.
So Rey was out for a minute, just selling the chair.
There's one of those things to where I say with wrestling, it's certain aspects and certain instances, you should be able to walk, to the snack bar, get, a hot dog, a Coke, and some cotton candy, and then eat it. And then by the time you get back to the ring, the guy should be just getting up to take the big punch. That's what wrestling is. You know what I mean? I should be able to walk around the corner. That's what wrestling is. It's the drama of making the fans feel a certain way. And I tell you, fans felt a certain way about that because I never did. But I never really felt a certain way about the match either. I never lost sleep about that match. And I know people really think I should perhaps have lost sleep over that match, but I never once lost sleep over that match. People talk about the drama that went into it, the racial overtone, and I get there was a racial overtone, and I created a lot of that racial overtone just because I needed that thing to be as real as it possibly could be. And I remember somebody asking me that question too, as far as losing in that match. I know we got about 45 seconds before we got to take a break, but I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, being a kid who didn't graduate high school, being a kid who got locked up in prison, lost his dad when he was a young kid, lost his mom when he was a young kid, and then finding himself at WrestleMania in the main event, like that's a win. I say that's the biggest win that any kid from South Park, Texas could have ever had. And that's no joke, bro. That's right in the God on that right there. I'm serious. So anybody think I lost on that? Boom. Think again. Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Life always doesn't wait for a payday. There's been times where I needed some gas money, groceries, or even grab some last-minute tickets for a big night out, and payday, it was still days away. That's why I love talking about the game-changing app like EarnIn. EarnIn is the app that lets you access your pay your way as you earn it, and up to $150 a day with a maximum of $750 between checks. There's no interest, there's no credit checks, there's no mandatory fees. It's not a loan. This is your money. Just download the EarnIn app, add in your work info, and you can start accessing your pay right away. You can even leave an optional tip to help support the app for everybody. Then, any money you access plus any tip is simply paid back from your next paycheck. So imagine this. Your daughter's school shoes are on sale, but payday's not until Friday. Well, with EarnIn, you don't have to wait. Or maybe you got a surprise dinner plan with someone special. Don't put it off. That's the kind of financial momentum that EarnIn gives you. Millions of people are using it. I wish I had EarnIn back in the day when I first started it out, especially when you're trying to balance bills, gigs, and unexpected stuff like a vet bill or even car repairs. So download EarnIn today. That's EARNIN in the Google Play or Apple App Store. And when you do, type in Hall of Fame under podcast when you sign up. That's Hall of Fame under podcast. It really helps the show and helps you get paid when you need it most. EarnIn is a financial technology company. It's not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days. Expedited transfers are available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join over 4 million people using it to turn any day into payday. It's your money. Take control of it with EarnIn.
Boom. Welcome back inside the hall, baby. Hey, man. I had a hell of a career, man. Man. Like I say, I was just flipping through YouTube, and I remember like a year ago, I had sit down at NXT, and I did an interview, and I was talking about all this stuff, and I just happened to see it on YouTube, and I started watching it. I was like, man, it's freaking pretty cool, because I always talked about my grandfather, named James, who lived to be 102 years old, and born in 1889. And I always say, man, I wish I could have seen the slideshow of, his life, and got a chance to see it, like from the beginning. I didn't get a chance to see my slideshow from the beginning, but the beginning of my wrestling career, to the end of it, and, it was pretty freaking cool. The whole ride, my whole time in the business, it's been like so much freaking fun. All I remember doing is laughing most of the time, with the boys, having fun, chopping it up, with the boys on the overseas tours, having fun, just living life, man. So, man, this life has been so freaking awesome. It really has. I say live it up, people. Live it up. Live it to the fullest.
You only got one go around. You only got one go around in this thing. So you might as well try to take it all the way if you can. And to me, and Cole just said it there, greatest Hall of Fame class ever. I can't think of one better than that 2013 one. And it's always great to see the slideshow, as you put it, and to see that 3.5 minute package. You could make a 3.5 hour package on your career, right? Or even longer. But it's just always cool to relive those things. For me, I'm just talking about for me.
No, man, for me, I don't realize it until I see it like that. And I go, wow, man, because I always said I wanted my name to ring with the greats of professional wrestling. And I always, the two names I always said was Nick Bockwinkel, Ric Flair, and then I would always say JYD. Those are the three names that I would always like compare my career of where I had to end up one day. When people remember me, like I remember those guys, and man, it's crazy how I've done that. And now I'm doing it from I wouldn't, some would say quasi commentator. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
I'm serious. Well, I can still go out and have like so much fun, like with the Joe Hendry stuff, and still be able to reinvent myself now from a total different perspective to where, people know I was a wrestler, but now they see, I'm not just, a wrestler. He's actually kind of cool at the same time. You know what I mean? He's actually funny. He's not like, somebody thinking about there again, the past and what I did in the past. You know what I mean? And for me to be able to have had so much fun in NXT over the last 4 years, when this job was only supposed to be 3 months, guys, it was only supposed to be a 3-month replacement job for me. And it's turned into 4 years, and to be able to see the rise, of guys like Trick Williams, Lash Legend, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, so many of them, get their shot and then, boom, knock it out of the park at the same time, So I'm overjoyed. I'm still having like so much fun right now too. That's why I tell people, man, have fun, man, because even now, man, I'm still having like so much freaking fun, at this stage of the game, and it might be the fountain of youth.
Yeah, it's just being around that young energy all the time, and even at reality wrestling. Reality wrestling. By the way, reality wrestling Blitz coming to you this Saturday from the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena. Just announced Zilla Fatu will be at that show.
Hey, wait, before you keep going, I haven't heard the Blitz song.
Oh, we need to be playing the Blitz song.
I haven't heard the Blitz.
Kevin, get on it.
Kevin, what the hell is going on? I need to hear Blitz. Yeah, that's a theme song. We paid for that.
But one of the things at reality wrestling, I don't know, was it in 2024? It must have been, or maybe beginning of 2025, is when we had Matt Cardona come in.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona had a special appearance with Kenny King, and he ended up, I think tweaking his shoulder, injuring his shoulder, separating, I believe. And obviously accidents happen in the ring, and he went on to really talk about how incredible the reality wrestling facility is and the program that you and Charmel have spearheaded down there. But he goes TNA, always ready, Matt Cardona. We saw him in the Last Time Is Now tournament on WWE television as Zack Ryder. This was just earlier in December, I believe. Yeah. And now he's back on SmackDown, this time as Matt Cardona. And he's back in the WWE family where his wife, Chelsea Green, has been for the last several years. And Chelsea, anybody who's in the know realizes she is such a MVP player in WWE, especially on the SmackDown roster. Yeah. And to have Matt Cardona over there, hell of a hand, hell of a talent, great promo, good character. It's great to have more bodies on that 3-hour SmackDown. A veteran presence like him only can do the show well.
Heck yeah. I feel bad for Chelsea Green losing her United States Championship to Julia at the beginning, the kickoff of 2026. Not a good look. Heading into WrestleMania. It's not a good look, especially if you're trying to make the big bucks. You know what I mean? You got to get on the big shows if you want to make the big bucks. That's just the way the business is. You know what I mean? But for Matt Cardona to be back in the WWE family, I'm happy about it. I think the kickoff was Matt Cardona coming back. Not coming back, but coming to reality of wrestling. I think that's a big plus for most of these guys if they're trying to get back to the big leagues. If you want to get back to the big leagues, guys, come through reality of wrestling. Make an appearance. You know what I mean? You might have a shot at getting back to the big leagues. You know what I mean? Because reality of wrestling, we're doing big things. We're doing big things. And in 2026, guys, we're kicking 2026 off right. We're going to start this thing off. We got Mellow Fellow in the house tonight. We're going to start this thing off right. We got Tephius in the house tonight. We're going to start this thing off right. you remember the song, right? You remember the song. We finna start this thing off right in 2026. So guys, if you want to get back to the big leagues, play in the big time, play in the big yard, WrestleManias, all of that stuff. Hey, you know how to hit me up.
Can I share? We just had an NXT talent at Reality of Wrestling for Sub-Zero, Ricky Saints. Came through.
Big ups for Ricky Saints. Big ups to Ricky Saints. He came in. You know what? I didn't even know he was going to be there. And the thing is, what he did. Look here. I don't condone it. All right. Let's just put that out there. I don't condone stuff like that. But Ricky Saints, look here. We'll talk about reprimanding him later. We can talk about that. But as far as money, Ricky Saints, the boy's money. All right.
Can I share with the people what Ricky Saints said at Reality of Wrestling, to everybody? Can I say, because it was funny to me. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ricky Saints had the line of the night, in a postmortem, but he's talking to the locker room, giving them some advice, and he was talking about reality wrestling, and he said he had always wanted to come to reality wrestling, and he said he realized he had to get signed to NXT to get booked on reality of wrestling, which is a great line. Great line. I hope he doesn't mind to share that because it was a funny line.
It is a great line, but it just shows how hard he worked to get where he is.
Yeah. He's a talent, man. He's a mega talent.
You know what? He is a talent. And I don't give guys a hard time if they're not talented. I'm giving this kid a hard time, but for him to make an appearance at Reality Wrestling and then show up and show out him and Danny Limelight, the Reality Wrestling champion. Big props. And we're looking to bring Ricky Saints back to Reality Wrestling very, very soon. That's something that we got high on the list here for early 2026 is to get Ricky Saints back to Reality Wrestling and let him do some work inside that 18 by 18 squared circle.
Let me ask you this, because you were bringing up this earlier, and you talk about the young talent and their rise in the business. William Regal had a post about people taking unnecessary risks in the ring due to potential neck injuries. And he shared that he broke his neck, I believe, twice in 93, and then again sometime later in the 90s, once in the ring and then once in a car accident, if I remember his post correctly. And he was kind of making sure that guys don't go out of their way to injure themselves and to think about the longevity, not only of their career, but of their life in general. He got some flack for it, which is kind of I guess I shouldn't be shocked by it, but it was kind of shocking because it was just good advice. Yeah. Well, what did you think of that whole situation?
I'll tell you what, you could tell me about the flack, and who perhaps it was that gave him a little bit of flack, but we got to take a quick break. Okay. You are inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in one momentum.
Hey guys, this is Brad Gilmore from the Hall of Fame with Booker T. And we talk a lot about trust on this show. Trust in your team, trust in the process, trust in your opponent. And you got to talk about trust in your money. And that's why I use Cash App. I do. I use Cash App. This is true. I use it every single day. It's where I have a card with. It's where I exchange currency with, whether I'm getting a haircut, whether I'm getting, some lawn services, whatever the case might be. I use Cash App because it's fast, it's secure, and it makes handling my money so simple. So whether I'm splitting a dinner bill, splitting money with a friend, checking my balance before a big weekend, it's all right there in the app. So if you download Cash App today and use our referral code, which is SECURE10, for $10 when you sign up. That's SECURE, SECURE, the number 10. Do that. Use that code because Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards are issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. You visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. So go ahead, hit that download button. Use my code SECURE10 and join the millions of people already using Cash App to make life easier. Trust me, you'll be glad that you did it, okay? SECURE10, SECURE10, SECURE10. And remember, Cash App is a financial services platform. It is not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards are issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures and use Cash App today. Booker and I use it. You should use it too. Cash App, Cash App.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. You want to reiterate that one more time, Brad?
Well, we were just talking about William Regal, and he had some comments kind of about neck injuries in the business. And I was actually trying to find his exact quote here, and I had it up just a second ago. Now my phone is giving me the blues right now. But he was just talking about the fact of, thinking about the longevity of not only your career, but of your life and not taking unnecessary risk. There was met with some internet backlash, and thankfully William Regal said he doesn't read any comments, so you don't need to leave him any, but that didn't stop people from doing so. But I don't know. You saw what he had said, correct?
Yeah. And I heard a couple of the young guys actually give William Regal props on his comments because I can't remember who it was. It might have been Kenny Omega. And he was talking about how young guys sometimes tend to forget and just tend to want to go all out. That's just the way the young mind works. And I get that too. But he said it takes a reminder from someone like a William Regal to take a step back and slow down. And I took that and I go, okay, man, I agree with that, 100%. But me personally, I mean, I commend William Regal for saying anything to these young guys, man, because you say anything to them these days, they think you're giving them, I don't know, flack about, going out there and doing it the way they're doing it. But I don't think that's it at all, especially coming from someone like William Regal. But telling these young guys, not to jump off something. it's hard to tell these young guys, especially me, because I did the Harlem Hangover, I did, muscle drop kick off the top. I didn't do any dives or anything like that, But I was kind of reckless, a little bit up to a certain extent. But I think I knew what I was doing. I think I knew I was baiting fans to think that was the guy that I really was, but I really wasn't that guy. I really wasn't a top rope guy. I really wasn't a, high flying guy, but I had to try to make myself look like that to look a little bit different. But I hated being on the top rope. No, I'm serious. I did not relish being on the top rope at all. And I tried my best to, find a way how to stop doing that as soon as I possibly could. And I think probably mid-30s, I stopped doing any of that kind of stuff. I think by 35, I think I stopped doing any of that kind of stuff. But I get it. And I just hope the young guys can take heed. The ones that want to have a longevity in their careers, the ones that don't want to have paralysis, and numbness in their hands, the ones that don't want to have that sciatic nerve in their back, going down to their foot and they can't walk and, they can't pick up their kid, they can't, hold a weight in their hand, and I know it all looks glamorous right now, when you're young and you're out there, you're doing it, after a match, you beat up, you bruise, you're battered, whatnot. And actually that endorphin actually feels good sometimes, man. It's a crazy, stupid thing, to wake up out of bed, know you've been in a war, opposed to having a match and not feeling like you did anything. It's a totally different feeling. You actually, the endorphin make you want that feeling. So I get it 100%. But for me, I start thinking about, and if I can get these young guys a little bit of game, I got into wrestling when I was 25, and I started thinking about retiring when I was 30. Okay. It is all due to, I got a chance to sit next to one of my heroes, one of my legends that I grew up watching, Wahoo McDaniel. And he kind of struggled at that time to put his boots on. He was in his 50s. And I was like, wow, man, I got to figure out how to get out of this business and still be walking and still be able to, throw a baseball with my kid, football with my kid, play basketball, a little bit, out in the yard, and you have to consciously be thinking about that kind of stuff in order to prepare yourself as far as what kind of matches you're going to go out there and do. That's why I stress these kids, I had a way to work on television, as far as Monday night, pay-per-view, house shows, overseas tours. Everything was different. Everything was different because I was like Cirque du Soleil. You know what I mean? You was going to which show I was going to give you on that night. Sometimes you might get old, and that was the premium. That was the premium show. If you got old, that's main event stuff right there. You know what I mean? But sometimes you might get Zoomanity. You know what I mean?
A whole lot of nothing.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's what wrestling truly is. And I think these young guys need to hear it from guys like a William Regal, a guy that they could, really respect more than anything. So I don't know who gave William Regal hate, but William Regal's a guy that's, he's touched just about every surface of this business. And, he wasn't a kid who came up with a silver spoon in his mouth or anything like that.
Well, yeah, and what he said too, what I want to just give a little context to, he said, I'm 57 and I become less relevant every day, but fame has never been my thing. So most of you doing this stupid, in all capitals, stuff are not going to listen to me, but hopefully a few of you do. Stop it now if you want a decent quality of life after wrestling, because that part of your life will be over before you know it. And wrestling done right is hard. It's hard enough, but broken necks or death are not something you should think is tough or cool. It's idiotic thinking. And, William Regal spent some time at AEW, obviously. He's been around NXT product a lot. I think that there might be a little bit more caution to the wind with AEW than in WWE in general. A lot more acrobatic flip style moves or what have you. But, those things can also run you ragged. And I'm not exactly sure the full extent of Adam Cole's injury, but Adam Cole's, reported to never be able to wrestle again. I think he's even having trouble flying on planes. I think he's just able now to fly on planes again. And it's because of it's just that style can be difficult, and I hope that he's fine and lives a long, great, happy life.
I can tell you this. I wasn't one of those guys who took a lot of chair shots, did anything to where I was going to beat myself up. I was very, very cautious about, what I would do in the ring, because I definitely wanted quality of life after it was over with. And I tell you, in my debut in the Global Wrestling Federation in 1991, all right, my debut in the Global Wrestling Federation, I do a flying knee drop off the top rope, bang, hit the move perfectly, and I tore my PCL in the back of my knee. And the doctor at that time, back in 91, he told me I needed total reconstructive knee surgery back then, right? And I didn't have knee surgery because I knew that was going to wreck my career. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now if I would have had that knee surgery. I somehow rehabbed myself, got my knee back on track, and I went through my whole wrestling career. It literally, no one knew I had a bad knee or anything like that. But now today, that knee injury, that same knee injury have come back to haunt me tenfold. And so and that's just one injury that I should have, perhaps gotten taken care of, back then. But, like I say, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But one injury for me is something that I have to live with on a daily basis. The pain I have to live with on a daily basis. I just had, stem cell therapy to try to see if I could relieve some of the pain that I've been going through, seeing if the muscle can regrow itself. I'm trying anything, what I mean? So these young guys, it's not to, hold you back or anything from doing what you do, because I know I have a wrestling school, and there's no way I could teach my wrestlers, to grab a headlock and hold that headlock for 5 minutes. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's a different way, but you can grab that headlock, and you can give me some motion. All right. You can give me some 3-dimension action. All right. And then we can go to wherever we're going to go. Once we grab that headlock. So my thing is, you can still make it work, with what you guys are doing today. And I think that's what William Regal is talking about, guys. You can still do all of your stuff, but, I talk about something with my young wrestlers. I never did anything that I couldn't do 10 times out of 10 times in my sleep. If I had to practice it, I wasn't going to do it. It was just that simple, so it's just, word to the wise, and hopefully the wise will pick up on that and take it and freaking run with it.
And just for anybody thinking, like Books, has a story that he's telling right now that helps him illuminate his point. Before we went live, we were talking about his knee, like before we started the show today, right? Like we were talking about how your knee was feeling. Like, so it's not like you're just making this up just for a convenient anecdote to drive home a point. It's real. This is real. I've seen it. I've seen it. So anyway, that's what William Regal had to say. Final couple things before we get out of here. I know that we're running up against the clock here. CM Punk Braun Breaker World Championship on the line. 1-year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. Do you think Braun's going to get the job done? The fans want to know in the chat. And then I have a couple super chats for you.
Not time yet. It's
way too early to me.
I mean, could Braun run with the championship right now? Of course, but I'm thinking about I'm thinking about what's on the marquee, okay, and what we're gonna have to promote leading up to WrestleMania, the biggest ticket in Las Vegas, Nevada. And guess who's gonna be there? Guess who's gonna be there? I'm gonna be there. And so my thing is, could he be world champion? Yes, of course. Any day of the week. Is it time yet? I don't. If I had the pen, I don't know. I would say not.
And then we got a wrestling historian. What was your experience working with Chris Kresge? Do you know Chris Kresge?
Chris Kresge. No, I don't know who that is.
I thought you meant Chris Nowinski at first.
Oh, Chris Nowinski. I remember a lot about.
I don't know Chris Kresge. I don't know who that is.
What's his working name?
Yeah, we'll have to know. Let us know who Chris Kresge is. With all due respect to whoever that is. Cali Toenail 3993 says, love seeing reality wrestling represented on WWE TV. On TV first, I kept hearing Christmas Chaos, and I'm like, hey, then we see Eli Knight on the screen, 2026 looking good.
That's right, baby. Eli Knight, big ups. Big ups to Eli Knight. He had a hell of a 2025, and 2026 is kicking off great for the young man. Got his debut on NXT, and in my opinion, shine like new money. So I see nothing but big things for Eli Knight.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? And you can see Eli Knight in the Stars of Reality Wrestling at Reality Wrestling Blitz. If you want to get the tickets, just scan that QR code on the screen. You can buy your tickets if you're in the Houston Texans area or the greater Texas City area. It's going down this Saturday, 7 o'clock bell time. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
As you should.
No, I'm looking forward to the guys and the girls going out there and representing reality wrestling. First show of the year, first show of 2026, and that right there, Blitz. That's pretty much a new title for us. The second year we've done Blitz, right?
I think it's the third year.
Yeah. Maybe I just remember the music
Blitz theme.
Yeah. But around football season right now, the Texans going.
Woo!
Playoffs, you know what I mean? And I think they got a great shot to beat Pittsburgh, man. I mean, Pittsburgh didn't show me nothing. They didn't show me nothing. Only thing they're gonna have working against them, man, is that temperature. That temperature gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. So other than that, I think we can win that game. I really do.
I think we got a great shot. I think we have a great shot to win the game. Our Houston Texans defense can win us any single game that we're in, especially with kind of an older quarterback. He's got to get rushed a bunch. There's going to be a lot of blitzes. There's going to be a lot of blitzes in that game. We just need CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and Schultz and all of our guys on the offensive side of the ball to show up and show out.
You know what? It all goes back to the opening day and that video. Oh, who brought him in? Who brought the season in? Who brought him in?
I think it was you.
I told him we win it. We winning. We doing this thing like it's supposed to be done, and everybody bought in. I want to say, H is up. H-Town. H is up. Hey man, we got to get up out of here, man. I got to get up there. New Year's Eve tomorrow. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Obafemi gonna be taking on that kid Leon Slater, the TNA X Division champion, the youngest X Division champion in its history. So this is gonna be a moment for this young man to step into the ring with the ruler, the man, the conqueror, Woba. Oh, so my thing, guys, let's get ready to rock and roll 2026. Brad, appreciate you for all the heavy lifting. Appreciate all you guys, again, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne wishes, caviar drinks. Until next time, peace. We love you. We out.